Investor's Edge with Gary Kaltbaum. Straight talk about you and your money. Now from the BizTalk studios, here is Gary Kaltbaum.
And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It is February 15th, 2024. I believe it's Thursday. Want to thank Adam for doing the show yesterday. How do I explain this? Yesterday I had a non-invasive type thingamabob where they had to do some removing of whatever and no problems whatsoever. But just letting you know, that's what we had going yesterday. A removal of blah, 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 blah. And that's that. Besides that, hope all is well. By the way, in case you don't know, this is a show about everything that affects you. The markets, the economy, jobs, unemployment, taxes, deficit spending, scams, shams, corruption, you name it, we cover it. And we do it with no bias, no agenda, no ulterior motive. Regardless what you think. And boy, oh boy, have I been inundated in the last day or two. I take it back. Not inundated, but just I got some, I don't know if you'd call it hate, but I am now a never Trumper. I am bordering on communism. I am not a conservative. And this, that, and the other thing. I just want to let you know. That's who I am. It's so weird to watch. And when you state facts back, the facts don't get debated. It's all what I guess the word is, I don't know if it's not nice, but it's all I'm a bad guy because I don't like their guy. It's amazing. It's amazing. And when I tell them, well, this is what he just said and how crazy it is, well, yeah. Anyway, we just going to let you know we're going to continue to do things business, markets, DC, with a slash in between, because now more than ever, we've never had them up our rear ends on a 24/7 basis with debt, deficits, and I'm sorry, just utter illogical stupidity where, well, let me give the Trump side some juice here. The left side is freaking doubly insane. It's an absolute sickness what they are doing in some cities with the crime and you can't have stoves and plastic bags. And I mean, they really want to rule us. I'll give Trump one thing. He lowered regulations, lowered taxes. I'm good with that. Now I wish that's if he becomes president. Do that and then stop. And then I'll compliment him. Anyway, that's enough for Trump. The only other thing I was thinking about coming on this show today. Two young men out of three. Two of them under the age of 18 years old. Rumor has it 15 and 16 years old. Were part of that shooting in Kansas City where an innocent woman dead, 9 kids shot, a few others shot because supposedly they had an argument and let's just pull out the guns and shoot. And all I keep thinking to myself is many years ago, when we have our board meetings, I do a lot mostly virtual now, but when we used to go in, and they still have it, but I kind of stay virtual. I remember one time we were at the Boys and Girls Clubs, the Universal Club here in Central Florida, and every month we bring in somebody to tell their story. And you never know what we're going to get. And one of the kids comes in, and if he was, he may have been 10. And he tells us 2 months ago, 3 months ago, my brother was shot dead in, I guess, a gang war / fight. And all I keep thinking to myself is, none of these kids were born into this. In other words, they had to get born, then, and then, and then, and then. And there's a lot of that going on. A lot of it. It's all I thought about today. As I watched the market, of course. And I was thinking also, when my kids were 15 and 16, they may have had super soakers at the pool. That was their guns. It's heartbreaking. It really is heartbreaking. It's the best way I can put it. And their lives are now changed forever. They'll be charged with murder, probably as an adult. And whoever's above 18, forget about it. And man, one of my sons is going to Chicago tonight to visit some friends. Do you know what I had to tell him? Be careful where you're going. These are the areas you want to be aware of. And at night, stay close to home. I had to tell him that. It's stunning. If he was going to Washington, D.C., I would say, don't even be in a car. Do you ever hear Joe Biden talk about crime? Freaking never. You know what they do? They come up with statistics. Oh, well, this one's better, that one's better, this one's better, that one's better. Great. We'll throw a party. All right, we segue, because that's what we do here. Later we'll have a little bit of the news, complain a little bit more, but the markets. Let's backtrack to Monday. I really thought that the small caps were ready to bust out. And we measure that, we can look at exchange traded funds, the IWM. We said something to you about getting above $200, but then getting above $205.50, which was the high of December. We also, I believe, told you there's also the small cap growth, which actually got a little bit above, and the mid caps. And then Tuesday happened. And by the way, this will define or describe how tough what I do is. And we're not talking about, we know, think long term, just be invested. It's, blah, 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 blah. Terrific. We try to measure markets. So we're really thinking small and mid caps are ready to go. We're really thinking part of that is going to be the financials as they were waking up, not necessarily the regionals, but some of the big banks. Goldman Sachs broke out on Monday. We walk in Tuesday to a gargantuan, a big gap to the downside on supposedly worsening inflation, where interest rates spiked, and we were down like $700. Yes, $700, 700 points on the Dow, 380 on the NASDAQ until the last half hour, and we finished down 500 and something, and the NASDAQ was still down 280. And it all happened on a real gap to the downside, and I'm thinking one thing, this ain't happening. And then yesterday we bounced pretty decently. A decent bounce in that broad market. After today, I think maybe I could be right after all. We'll see. Why do I say that? Well, the Russell 2000 was up 2.6% today, and straight down, straight up. Straight down gap to the downside, straight back up 2 days, and above Monday's high. Haven't broken above the 205.50 yet, but close, 204.39. The mid caps, you look at the MDY, has now moved a little bit above. The IWO, a little bit above. And then JP Morgan breaks out of range today. That's my music. We'll continue with this. Hope you are listening. I'm Gary. This is the one and only Investor's Edge.
Hi, I'm Gary Kaltbaum, host of the nationally syndicated radio show Investor's Edge. We're not just handsome radio people. We manage investors' money for a living, specializing in fee-based discretionary money management. No big commissions, just a fee on the assets that's managed. We also provide a full range of personalized services, including retirement planning, fixed income, and educational needs, all to assist you in achieving your financial goals. Understanding not all individuals have the same needs, we'll carefully evaluate your personal goals to determine a proper investment strategy. If your current approach to investing is not getting you to where you would like to be, call us to make an appointment for a complimentary portfolio review. The number to call is 888-422-5559. That's 888-422-5559. That's 888-422-5559. Investment advisory services offered through Kaltbaum Capital Management.
It's time to switch on the integrator units and get the brain cells working.
You're listening to
Hey, this promises to be fun.
Investor's Edge
The last bastion of quality programming.
with Gary Kaltbaum.
It doesn't get better than this.
Where was I? Okay. So we think we may end up being right on the small and mid caps and the financials. And Goldman breaks out on Monday, fails on Tuesday, still hasn't broken back out again, but JP Morgan moves out a little range here. Wells Fargo, huge day today for a Wells Fargo on huge volume. Didn't even see any news. Bank America holds a 50-day moving average. Citigroup does the same. BlackRock does the same. So just letting you know, we thought we were onto something Monday. We thought we were wrong Tuesday. We weren't sure yesterday. We're getting more sure today. Remember how we say cards coming out of the deck? But I have to do some additions here. One of the areas we have, for good reason, avoided has been the oils. And, you know, every day when we do our scans, we do them without bias. And we're always looking for, well, this may be changing, that may be changing. And just because we say this may be changing doesn't mean it's going to. But when something happens in the market that we think has the potential to change, that means it has the opportunity. All I can tell you, the oils, which have been drifting pretty crappily along the declining 50-day moving average. The oil services are the weakest, the OIH. They are now back to touching the 50-day moving average. The XOP, the explorers, bust through the 50-day today with a little volume. And the XLE, the big oils, do the same. So we're just letting you know something may be afoot in the oils. And I would just write down, Gary has said, the oils now have the opportunity to stop the bearish phase. Does that mean it goes into a glorious bullish phase? No, but we're telling you, stopping the bearish phase. I think the oils are like 15 to 20% of the S&P. Now, I've yet to go through all the names, but there are some things that are stronger than others. You have pipelines. stronger than others. We've been telling you that all along, and some refiners. But I must tell you, some of the big oils, they have these little bottoming processes going on right now as I'm watching them. And I was just noticing Warren Buffett's stock today, up 5% to $60. Slow boat. Big day today on volume. So we're adding that the oils may be going on now. And they've been dead. We've mentioned recently China, but still not, except there's 3 names in China that act pretty decently. TAL, EDU, TME. Then, let's get back again. The small and mid caps. When you have a chance, go look at the IWM, the IWO, which is the small cap growth, and then look at the MDY, which is the mid caps, and then I want you to look at the KRE, which is the regional banks. Why? Because they're a big part of the small caps, and with interest rates going up, they may be trying to put in some sort of low. So just letting you know, as bad as Tuesday was, is as good as today. On top of yesterday. A big wow. New high list picked up today. I'm going to have to go through that tonight. And just overall tone. And then we have just, by the way, both ways. Stunning earnings reactions. Both to the downside, but to the upside. My goodness gracious. Crocs, with a 3% drop in earnings and only a 2% drop in sales, which is 4 straight quarters in a row of deceleration, up 12% on twice average volume. Make that 3 times average volume. Just for example. At Reliance Steel announces a 19% drop in earnings, 8% drop in sales, up 12%, breaks out to new yearly highs. What's given? What's going on? Don't know. Now let me tell you one little roadblock. We have another one of those inflation numbers tomorrow, but I'm thinking to myself, and we'll see. No predictions. No predictions. I'm thinking to myself, does the market know that even though the inflation number Tuesday was not the greatest and the reaction on interest rates not the greatest, well, it's going to be better tomorrow. We'll see. I think tomorrow at 8:30, we're going to get another clue, but all I can tell you is if the small and mids break out, just more stuff. Just more stuff. What you do with it, you get to decide. But wow, we were on to something. Tuesday, the hook. Right back with the middle finger on Wednesday and Thursday with the Dow up 348 today, S&P up 29, NASDAQ was only up 47, NASDAQ 100 only up 38. I actually got an email today from somebody. What's wrong with NVIDIA? NVIDIA was actually down 1.6% today. What's wrong with NVIDIA? It's gone from 505 to 726 at the close today. It can have a down day. I guess everybody's expecting, how do you have a down day? It's NVIDIA. But I'm just letting you know, wow. Wow. Talk about, this was, and we have a strong stomach here. Talk about a whipsaw this week. One heck of a little whipsaw. Now, do we get whipsawed again tomorrow? We'll be back tomorrow, same time, and we'll let you know. But we're telling you straight up front, it's trying again. And Tuesday, all but forgotten. Surprising? Nothing surprises me anymore. Surprises left the building ages ago. and watching Super Micro break out at 350 and go to $1,000 and trading $100 a day and being up $35 in the aftermarket today on no news. I think what's going on there is just not a lot of stock, and they're just trading through it. God bless it. A rare event. You think 40% rally in a month is good? You think 50? Psh. How about a triple from the breakout on January 19th? And by the way, this is not a penny stock. Stunning. Up next, what else we got for you? Thanks for being here. I'm Gary. This is the one and only Investor's Edge.
You're listening to
America is talking.
Investor's Edge.
He's got to be pleased with that. The crowd is just on its feet here. He's a Cinderella boy.
With Gary Kaltbaum.
Comes highly recommended. You're going to feel better if you talk to him.
Well, Roku and DoorDash are being blasted in the aftermarket. Coinbase is up. Yelp is getting smoked. Why is my music still going? Applied Materials, whoa, up $20 in the aftermarket? Holy crap. You know, we're now learning what's been going on. I'm looking at the numbers. You know, Applied Materials, they say, beat numbers at $2.13, 23 cents better than the $1.90. That $2.13 is a 4% earnings increase. But the market loves it. They must be saying AI. And inline guidance also. By the way, revenues fell year over year. I got to tell you, what's going on with these semis? I know the AI thing, but this is getting somewhat insane in that nothing earnings reports are juicing these stocks. And when I mean nothing earnings reports, they better come through with bigger earnings, or all you're going to end up with is massive valuations. Trade Desk is up nicely in the aftermarket. I'm just going through them as we speak. Boy, a lot of jello moving on the plate. Dropbox down a little. And I think that's about it. But the big one for me is Applied Materials. Next, just going to cover a few things here. Apple, which, by the way, closed today at 183.86. Apple. It hit a low today of 181.35. Guess what it held again today? We keep telling you about symmetry in the markets. This thing keeps holding the 200-day moving average like a trooper. It did it a week ago, did it 8 days ago, did it 4 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, did it in November, did it in October. And that's the place. And I got it up some in the aftermarket. I don't know if that's on Applied Materials or not. Beats the heck out of me. We'll let you know. All I can tell you is another mediocre earnings report, and Applied Materials is rolling. 187 to 206 for that stock. That is one hell of a move because that's somewhat of a low beta name. So backtracking again. Just strong broad market. Simple as that. Tuesday, real bad day. I came on here and say, better hold in here. It did. And getting juiced. In spite or despite. And now oils may be looking better. Going through some better retail names. Children's Place, a stock that has been destroyed. Let's see what we mean by destroyed. A high of 160 and 18 hit a low this week of 8. Closed at 26. a Saudi Arabia company looks to buy out the whole company. Something to that effect. Or take it over. Again, there's just a lot going on in Mr. Market right now. And then next week, we get the NVIDIA earnings. And we'll see what that brings. But that's the story. In a nutshell. Whipsaw week with the end of Thursday. Very good potential outcome for a good move in small and mid caps here that have been lagging like a mother. I can't say like a mother. Lagging like heck. For I can't tell you how long. Maybe this is the catch-up. I don't know. Don't care. Our job, look at a photo album for familiar faces and take it from there. The crypto. Big 6-day move. Simple as that. Big 6-day move. Not the 30-some-odd thousand coins that are at zero. We want you to remember that. We want you to remember that. And I've yet to hear from anyone why, what value to place on a Bitcoin. I heard somebody explain something today, and I'm no Einstein, but I think I'm kind of smart. I didn't understand the word they had to say. Mining this and mining that and mining up and mining that. What does that have to do with value? Tell me what the valuation is. What are the earnings? What are the sales? What is it based on historically? And all that crap. All I can tell you, en fuego, the last 6 days. And I must tell you, yields are still above 4.2, that little breakout. And the market doesn't care. Is that correlation done for now? Sure, maybe. Now, a big question I've got this week. Are we 1999 again? In case you don't know, 1999, you had this massive move from November of 99 to March of 2000. That's what happened. In fact, I'm about to pull it up and tell you exactly what it did, because it was utterly amazing. And by the way, it was already in good shape before that. But the NASDAQ broke out. This is the NASDAQ. It's an index. 2,923 was the breakout. And it occurred on October 29th. It went from 2923 to 5132. And that was the high of March 10th. A gargantuan move. Climactic runs like you would not believe. Well, I can state this for the record. Supermicro SMCI certainly looks like something like that. But a 40% move in NVIDIA is a piker compared. A piker. I remember pre-split I bought Oracle in September. After all the splits, it was $20. By March, it was 90. 90. And there was others. And I can't even find them anymore because they don't even trade. But it was quite the crazy. And before that, you had the internet. Just so you know, when that last move, Amazon didn't do squat. But Amazon came public in 97, pre-split of 131, topped out at 100. So let me just say this about whether it's 1999 or not. If only, so far I see one name, 1999-ish, that's it. I'll repeat, if only. And you know, I got a 3-day weekend coming up. I'm going to be going through 99. Because I remember what I owned. PMC Sierra, EMC, Nortel, Lucent. What else did I own? I got to go back and look. SDL Inc. and they went insane. I thought I was a genius. No, it was a great ending of a bubble. Could it be the same this time? If only. So there's your answer to that. But back to the main point, small and mid caps are, after giving the hook Tuesday, boy oh boy, yesterday and today, really nice, really strong. My stuff screen lit up with oils, retail, financials, big and small, insurance, and the like. And as we said, oils, they're a big part of the S&P that have been dead. Now, what if oil prices spike? Well, that could be interesting. Don't know. We'll just take it one day at a time. And that's our take. And let me repeat one thing. Tomorrow there's another inflation number. And I'm just wondering if the market kind of knows something. Just wondering. And we'll find out tomorrow. And as we said, we'll be back. Ooh, Roku down a big $16. Anyway, that's a little bit of markets. We're past a lot of the earnings. There's more coming next week, but just a ton of them are now gone by the wayside, and a bunch of them I just don't understand. I can't for the life of me what Applied Materials is saying. And just remember, of import, while we tell you about the great, Deere today, down 5% in a bear market. I can go through that side too, but we're going to keep it on the happy front. Up next, we'll be complaining about something. I'm Gary. This is the one and only Investor's Edge.
You're listening to...
What are we waiting for?
Well, what are you waiting for?
1, 2, ready, go.
Action!
Investor's Edge with Gary Kaltbaum.
Duh. In the news, Joe Biden's in the news. Oh, no, he's not. He's hardly anywhere to be found. Comes out for 5 minutes, said something, and then took Trump's credit. That guy will walk to his helicopter and then walk over to people and sit there for 30 minutes answering questions from people that hate him. I give him that credit. Biden, 3 minutes here, 5 minutes there. In the news, I don't know if you read about this. Do you know what rare earth materials are? Wyoming. There's a discovery of 2.34 billion metric tons of rare earth elements near Wheatland, Wyoming, which could signal, I'm reading, the beginning of a new in the competition for raw materials that power the global economy. Just so you know, we have to get all that crap from China and Russia. You want to do that? The load at Halleck Creek has the potential to make the U.S. the world's largest processor of these minerals used to make computer chips, smartphones, and aircraft engines. Nice. Let's hope this is true. I'm looking through here. What's the name of some of these rare earth materials in here? I can't find it. Anyway, it's probably words that we can't even spell or sound. Rare earths, they're critical military technologies also, yet traditionally they are very dirty to mine. Production tended to leave water pollution, toxic sludge, and radioactive elements in its wake. Environmental concerns led U.S. companies to curtail domestic extracting, and as a result, China became the world's largest refiner of rare earths, accounting for as much as 95% of global production. So what we need to do is figure out how to extract this stuff. Oh, here we go. neodymium and praseodymium oxides. They're low in radioactive byproducts. I need to call Sheldon Cooper. Anyway, that is potentially great news. In the news, I got to read this to you, and this is the stuff where, and I wish I was making this up. An elderly woman, age of 90, who's been volunteering at a multiple sclerosis nonprofit for 60 years, was fired from her volunteering position because she did not understand pronouns in a conversation she had. I'm not making this crap up. And she said, I was confused. I didn't know what it was and what it meant. That from her first reaction when she was asked to use pronouns in her email signature. She was fired. What the hell is going on out there? Is there no heart? Is there no soul? What the hell is going on here? This is a true story, by the way. In the news, hey, Venezuela. Just letting you know, and this is the title. In Venezuela, you're a critic one day and arrested the next. The detention of Rocio San Miguel and her disappearance for many days as Venezuelan human rights activists concerned that they have entered a new era of repression. A new era that's been repression for quite a while. Which gets me on people that are now kissing the royal butt of Putin because a certain somebody says something. I just want to let you all know about Vladimir Putin in case you didn't know. Go to Moscow. Stand in the street with a poster in Lenin Square, and the poster says, we need to vote out Putin. Go do that. Those who love the guy or think he's the end-all, be-all, you will never be seen again. If that's who you want to love, have at it. Anyway, in Venezuela, it's basically Cuba, it's basically Russia. This guy Maduro took over for that scumbag Chavez who died of cancer. One of the only people I wish would die of cancer, and he did. Chavez and Maduro ended up getting the military and just destroying the country. And they're all trying to get here. Anyway, so that's still going on in Venezuela. And I believe Biden is negotiating to buy their oil, even though it's dirty and costs more. I don't know what ended up with that. In the news, I got to get back Trump. He stands by his NATO threat. That, if Russia attacks NATO countries because they're not paying up, so be it. And you wonder why I got a problem with this guy. That is about as imbecilic, illogical, doofus-like statement you can get. Kind of like John McCain's not a hero because he was caught. Anyway, really, this all just explains to you how much hope I have for our future in the election going forward between Trump and Biden. I'm still on the record. I don't think it's going to end up being Biden. I'm on that record. Of course, I can be wrong, but I'm on that record. And that is your ever-popular over-the-top. Do I have any other news of the day? I think that covers it. Oh, yeah, the Republicans lost Santos' seat. That crooked, fraudulent piece of crap Santos had the nerve to say, how do you like me now? And some Republicans are now upset that they lost the seat. And why did they expel Santos? You expelled Santos because you're supposed to have a soul. Because you're supposed to have some scruples. Because you're supposed to care that this guy's a fraud. Now, if we can ever get rid of the fraud Elizabeth Warren, that would be good news also. That was in the news, I believe, yesterday. And I think we can now be done with the ever-popular over-the-top news of the day, but the most important part of the equation. Let's see what tomorrow brings. We'll know a lot more, a heck of a lot more, tomorrow with that inflation number. And if those indices break above range, you'll hear from us. Have a great evening. Drive carefully. When you get home, do like we do. Quite simple. Make sure you hug your family. Make sure you hug your children. They will feel better. You will feel better. Probably on with Cavuto tomorrow. Noon business, Fox Business. Check it out. Peace out, all. Thanks for joining. Bye-bye.
This has been Investor's Edge with Gary Kaltbaum on BizTalk. To listen to past episodes or to get in contact with Gary, go to GaryK.com. That's GaryK.com.